Right,
Nelson Valoura writes, "Hello, Collider crew. Watching the latest movie Threesome with ex-Collider John Campea. Ouch, that was painful to write. I was wondering, what is your opinion to some of the cultural differences in the movie-going experience? Being a Portuguese person, I'll talk about the example I'm more familiar with. Portugal, like Campea said, we have pre-assigned tickets, and I recently found out that in the US such a thing doesn't exist. And that really intrigues me because I can't even imagine a life without pre-assigned seatings. It would be mayhem. Besides that, the ratings in here are not nearly as extreme. Deadpool is 14 and over, for example. And the movie tickets are way cheaper. In Portugal, a movie ticket costs what is equal to $7, but most people, myself included, have a 2 for the price of 1 type of discount, which ends up making my trip to the movie roughly $3.50. All of that said, is there any other cultural movie-related subject that you guys know that exists someplace or else and you wish existed in the US, or something you would change in the movie-going experience? Thanks, and the best of regards from Portugal."
I grew up with a lot of people from Portugal, man. Look, you said a lot of things in the email, going over a lot of different topics. But yeah, I was on Fandango's movie Threesome with Christian Harloff and Tiffany Smith the other day, and I ranted on something I've ranted about a few times here. Let me get this last shot in while I can. Every civilized country in the world, all right? No, I'm not talking about the great Canadian free healthcare system that everybody else in the world gets, but stupid, this country can't seem to wrap their heads around. Anyway, look, every civilized country in the world, pretty much, has pre-assigned seating. When I talk about pre-assigned seating at the theaters, I get tons of emails and messages from people all over the world going, wait a minute, you backwards Neanderthals don't have pre-assigned seating? Nope. Not in Canada, not in the US. Now, only in Canada and the US are we starting to see it. The last couple of years, like the AMC Prime now is pre-assigned seating, but every other theater in that AMC Burbank 16 is still in the Stone Ages, where you gotta rush in like a herd of cattle and hopefully you'll get a good seat. Every civilized country, everything we do in a society that you get a ticket for pretty much gives you your seat. You go to the opera and you buy your ticket, it has your seat number on it. Unless you're flying Southwest, every airline you get on, you get your ticket, it tells you what seat you're sitting in. You go into an NFL football game, you get your ticket, it tells you what seat you're sitting in. Everything else except what should be the easiest industry in the movie in the world to do this in, the movies. It is the simplest concept. Look, there was a charm, I guess, some nostalgic charm to the idea of, I'm going to go down and get in line for 7 hours to make sure I get a good seat. You know what? I'm not 16 anymore. So you can have your 3-hour ass on the concrete kind of sitting around for 5 hours kind of day. That's great for you. Hoo-ha. Me, I want to be able to buy my ticket and know if my showtime is at 7 o'clock, even if it's opening night, I can walk in at 7 o'clock. It's a no-brainer. And now every time I hear somebody raise an objection, I've yet to hear one legitimate objection to the pre-assigned seating model. Every objection anybody's ever brought up to me with pre-assigned seating are problems that would equally apply to non-pre-assigned seating. Here's the one everybody gets. Here's the one, all right? This is the one that everybody falls back to. But John, what if I get my pre-assigned seat and I show up to the movie theater and somebody's puked on my seat, or some other variation, or there's a big wad of bubble gum on my seat? To which I reply, then change your seat. But what if the theater is full? If the theater is full, then it would be full with non-pre-assigned seating, and you'd still be out of luck. That's the basic thing. Every objection somebody brings up for the pre-assigned seating thing has an equal thing to being non-pre-assigned. It doesn't matter. There is no downside to pre-assigned seating. Get with pre-assigned seating, get with the rest of the civilized world, get with every other industry that sells tickets in this country. Please, movie theater industry, and I'm talking specifically to UMC because I got a good relationship with you. Every single theater should be pre-assigned seating. Anyway, that's my rant.
Yeah, and AMC I think they're starting to transition towards that because the Century
Century
City one is all pre-assigned seating. The one at Burbank here is only the AMC Prime, and I think it's starting to. I think within 10 years, the U.S. it's going to be all pre-assigned seating as they upgrade.
I hope it's 5. I mean, because I know, because L.A. and New York is starting to come around, but there's other parts of the country that don't have it at all. There's a couple theaters in Amsterdam that for comedies alone they give out hash brownies. That'd be nice to bring out there, so, no.
And then, and speaking of what he's talking about culturally, I remember when I went to Taiwan, we saw a movie. They had the national anthem at the beginning. Like you had to
Canada used to do that.
You had to stand up during the national anthem. And then I don't know if this is all theaters in Taiwan, but this particular one had like the bathroom was in the back. I'm not talking about you go outside in the back. I'm talking about like it was like
in the back of the theater.
Well, I mean, it was still sectioned off, like
in your seat.
Whatever. But you could you could hear though. You could hear like it was that close.
Yeah.
You could hear it. And then obviously the snacks, I'm sure in every country are different. Not everyone is like we think of popcorn like, oh, that's the movie treat, but in other countries it's different stuff.
Right.
And then our friend Chuck, I forgot which country it was, but he said when he traveled to Central America. He said one country, when they went to go watch the movie, they stopped the movie halfway through the showing to sell snacks. And then they wouldn't turn the movie back on until they sold enough snacks.
Oh, yeah,
That
you
was
told
very
me about
bananas.
that. That's
I
right.
think that's pretty hilarious.
That's yeah.
pretty
Oh,
awful.
my God. That was the last mailbag question, right?
Hey guys, if you like this clip, click here to watch the entire episode. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because it'll help you stay up to date with all the stuff we've got going on here at Collider.